All right. So now we're going to learn some basic GitHub commands. And this is a subject which gets deep. And there are entire books written about using Git, right? Because GitHub is, doing Git. And this is like a great book online, free, which you could dig into and reference. And a lot of people will explain things in a way which is sort of complex. And I've gone through like trainings and been like, wow, like so much information in there. And I don't know if I'll ever use all of that. Probably not. But anyhow, it gets deep. And so here's a book. But at the basic level, it's totally easy and totally simple. That's the good news. And then if something goes wrong, that's when you bust out the books and start doing some reading. All right, so let's learn the basic commands of GitHub. And I'm going to do a little bit of review here because I deleted my repo and that sample repo in the last video. I was like, this is how you delete them. And I'm like, I need a repo. So I'm going to create a new repo and I'm just going to go here and go to your profile and then go to my repos and then create a new repo. And I'm just going to call it sample. I'm going to add nothing because I already deleted that one. So I'm just recreating one. And then here are those commands. But so great. I'm going to use those commands. And then I have this folder here, sample, and it's got the Git, the hidden folder right there, .git, right? Well, I no longer want that. Because this one I want to reinitialize it and connect it to the new repo I just created. So I'm going to delete that. And so that one's gone. I'll get rid of dsstore, which is a Mac file. All right, so I got my two files in there. Now I just need to initialize that. So I just need to make sure I'm in the sample one. And if I do an LSLA, there's no .git, but if I do a Git Init, initialize the Git repository. Now when I LSLA, cool, .git is there. I just initialize that. So now I can come back here and I could start looking at this stuff. And I'm going to do my git add -- all. Instead of adding just one file, I'm going to add all my files. Git add -- all. And I just added that. And then I come back here and I do my first commit. So that could be anything. So I'll just type that myself. This can be any message I want. Oh, doesn't let me do that one, except for that message. Git commit. This can be anything other than any hexadecimal or alphanumeric. There we go. And now I'm going to do this one. And there we go. And then I'm going to do this one. There we go, and that's pushing it all up. And so now I should be able to come here and be like, yo, my files, there they are, fantastic. All right, so now we're going to do some commands. And so this is where I'm at. And this is what's in there. And now if I do a git status, so that's the first command. And so we're going to add that to your list of commands here, basic commands, git status. That's going to give you your status, right? And it says, hey, everything is up to date. Right? Up to date. And I found that when reading these messages, it's best to like skim a lot of this other stuff and just like origin master, not quite sure what that is, but up to date. Cool. It's all up to date. All right, good. And now if I change something, nano readme, right? And, change stuff in this file. And then Control X to exit that, and then yes, Y to save, and then write it to README. I'm going to hit Enter to accept that. And now if I do a git status, excuse me, whoa, it says that this file has been modified. So it's keeping track of what I'm doing. Well, awesome. So now I'm going to do a git add -- all. I'm just going to add everything. Sweet. And then I git status again. Whoa, now it's green, right? And so what's the difference? Doesn't really say anything here. It says here git reset head to unstage. There's something about staging there. Okay, so it went from red to green. Well, that was doing the git add -- all. So now I could just do git commit and some message and adds changes to readme.md file. And cool, that's been committed. I made a commit. I can do a git log now. What's my git log? And I've got this log right here, right? So let me just bring that up so you see only that. And I've got, hey, this was the first commit I made. and this was the second commit I made, and I'm like, keeping track of those. So if I go look online though, let me add that to your list here. Git Log is another interesting, good one to use. If I go look online and I hit refresh here, all right, reload this page, and these are still the same. Now the reason those are still the same, that neither of these commit messages have changed, is because I haven't pushed this up to GitHub. This is only on my computer right now, so I'm going to do a Git Push. And I no longer need to add in. You'll remember we had this crazy bit right here where it was Git Push -u origin master. You only need to do that the first time. Okay? And so after that, you just do Git Push. And so that's the next command. I'm going to add in Git Push. And so, I'm going to do a Git Push, and then it's going to like do some processing, some compressing, and it'll write objects, and then it like wrote a bunch of stuff, and I'm back here. Now if I do a Git Status, right, I'm on branch master. Your branch is up to date with origin master. So I'm on master. It's up to date with origin master. Okay, well maybe origin master is this deal up here. If I refresh this page now, watch these commit messages change. Here we go. Adds changes to README. Oh wow. Right? Whoa, my code's being tracked. Like there's these versions that are occurring, And not only that, right? Just like a little side tangent here. When I do my Git log, I've got these different commit points. I could roll back to the way it was at this point in time by, doing like a reset or something like that. And you can look up how to do something like that. I could go back to a previous point, and then my code would all return to that point in time, the way it was at that point in time. But the basic workflow, this is the basic workflow right here, right? So if I clear out my screen, print working directory is where I'm at, look what's in there, and then I'm going to like, nano sample file, and, and now I've changed the sample file, right? So Control X to exit, Y to save, and Enter to write it to that file. Now Git Status. Right? Okay, well, hey, something's been modified. So, your workflow is like, so we Git Status, Git Log, Git Push, Git Commit, -m, some message, and Git add -- all. Like, that's it, right? And GitHub workflow will be like change files, Git add -- all, Git Commit -m, some message about the changes, and then Git Push, right? And then in there, you'll also do like, your Git Status, right? You'll be throwing that in. But like, that's it. And so maybe if I reorganize these, it'll be a little bit better. So put that right there. And you can check your status first, Git add all, and then Git Commit, and then Git Push, and then you can see your log. So that kind of reflects. So that's the basic GitHub workflow. And it's storing all of your code up there. So I've changed file. Now I'm going to do my Git Commit. So I just got to think for a second, where am I at? I did my Git Status. Now I'm going to do my Git Commit Git add -- all. And then and now if I do my Git Status, it's green. And then I do Git Commit -m, and adds changes to sample file. And now I could do my Git Push. Now I do my Git Status if I want, and it says, hey, you're on branch master, but your branch is ahead of origin master by 1 commit. Oh, okay, let me do a Git Push. Right, and now it pushes it, and now I can do a Git Status, and it's up to date. Right, and if I go look at here and hit refresh, watch the commit messages change from this can be anything alphanumeric to adds changes to sample file. Whoa, right? That's pretty cool. And I could look at all of my commits right here, 3 commits. And, I could see what those are. And then I could, click on them and drill down and, see a little bit more information. Like, okay, right? There's that one. Sweet. And I could hit back. And then what's this one? Right? Interesting. Change stuff. It added this line to this file. Right? And if I change that line, that would be reflected in these commits. So let me do that. Command K. and ls-la, and I'm going to do nano readme, and then I'm going to change stuff. I'm going to take out stuff. So come down here, changes this file. There we go. And Control X, and then yes, and enter, and now Git Status, and Git add -- all, and Git Status, and Git Commit -m, and you know, change shortens text in README. Boom, boom, and then Git Push. And I can come over here now, and I can look at, have a shortens text in README. I could go look at my commits. I've got 4, and if I look at this commit, right, it now says, you know what? This line right here, changes stuff in this file, was deleted, and it was replaced with this line, changes this file. Holy cow, that's amazing. Whoa, that is like truly amazing. So the basic workflow is you work, and then you reach some point where it's like, awesome, okay, cool, I got something done. And you know, you got something done, so you're like, okay, where am I at? You do what you, so let me phrase that again. You work and you reach some point where like, okay, I built, you know, like that little, I got the header working on this web page, so I'm going to do a git add -- all, you know, and then I'll do a git commit -m. Header is working on index.html, right? Some message. And then like a git push, right? And git add, git commit, git push. That's it. So that's like your basic workflow, and that's detailed right here. Git add, git commit, git push. Git add, git commit, git push. So that's it. That's your workflow. And maybe I should put this in like, you know, you change files. I don't know. That should be in like, you change files, and then run these commands. That's what that'll say. You change files and then run these commands. There we go. And so that's the basic workflow. So the question you might be asking yourself is, why do git add and git commit? Why not just be like git commit, git push? Like, okay, here are the changes, commit them, push them. Why have add? Well, because it's like there's this staging area, and you have all this code, right? So let me just draw this out. Your code. And your code will have like files about dogs, for example, and your code will have files about cats, right? And so let's say you're working, and you make. I'm just wondering if like, how would I do an arrow? Here we go. We'll do it like this. You're working, and you make changes to both your dog files and your cat files, right? And then you want to do your commits. And you want to be able to separate the changes in your commit that you made to your dog file and the changes in your commit that you made to your cat file. So later you could be like, oh yeah, well here are the changes for the cats. Here are the changes for the dogs. So I could do a git add, and then I could just specify the file names and be like, just the dog stuff. And then, you know, right, so it might be like git add, and you saw that one thing was readme, so it might be like dog.html, right? And then I could do a git commit adds dog stuff changes. And the same thing here, I could do a git add cat.html or whatever the file is, and then git commit -m adds cat changes. And now when I push it, I'll have 2 commits that go up that are separated, right? So I could have all my files being changed, and then I could just add some of the files to the staging area, and I could commit those files. And then I could add the other files to the staging area, and I could commit those files, and then I could push it all up. So that's why you have git add and git commit. So the main thing to take away from this video is that your workflow with GitHub, once you've created a repository, your workflow with GitHub will be like, just like many times a day, is to do a git add all. Git add -- all, right? It's going to add all your changes. And then I'm going to do a git commit, and then give it some message, and then here will be the message, right, in double quotes. And it'll be like, these are things I'm adding, and then I'll do a git push and push it up to GitHub. That's it. That's your workflow. And then over time, as you hit walls, right, and something isn't working quite right, or you need to roll back to a previous point, you'll read more about GitHub and you'll learn more about how to use Git. But that's the basic introduction to GitHub and the basic commands you're going to use. And it's awesome. You're going to love it. So yeah, man, that's GitHub. Use it, love it, know it, share it, whatever. GitHub.